we've got a pretty big rainstorm coming through San Diego today, so I'm posted up at one of my day use spots here near Mission Trails Regional Park. It is right next to a busy road here, so we hear quite a bit of road noise, but it's kind of the best I can do on a day like today. They have all the dirt parking areas gated off today so people don't get stuck in the mud. As you can see, my camera is getting wet here, so I'm going to retreat into the van. I've got a lot of organizational stuff I'm going to work on today. I'm going to cook up some food and just hang out and wait out this wet weather. Okay, we'll show you what we're working with for my organizational stuff. I'm basically taking care of the area underneath my bed. It is a little dark in here because I have not installed my lighting yet. I have purchased some lights, these LEDs here. Got them on a dimmer. Those are going to be going in the ceiling panels here. So in the meantime, I'm using one of my photography lights just mounted there to brighten things up. So underneath my bed, I have been using these really tall, deep totes here. You can see they're pretty tall. What I've decided to do with is ace those and go with two for that height, go with two of these stacked. And what that's going to allow me to do is separate the items in that tall bin so I don't have to dig. When I pull this out and I need, say, one item that happens to be on the bottom, I've got to pull a lot of stuff out, pretty much the whole contents of the bin just to get to one item. It's really a pain to dig through it to retrieve things. So if I divvy it up between two bins, that'll mean half the digging. I can just put that stuff in there much more organized and just pull either the top or bottom one out as needed. And I think it's really going to help me not getting so frustrated when I'm searching to find just one thing. Alright, as you can see, I've got the contents divvied up between the two bins there. I've still got quite a bit of room in that one there. And then back in the old one, I've got a few things I'm going to sort through. These I'm going to put with my automotive stuff. That's wax there. Saw blades, that's going to go in another bin. And then this stuff I'm going to sort through. Probably some of it is even trash. So pretty productive. I'm going to get the lids on those and see how they fit underneath. Well, as I measured, they do fit under there nicely. They slide in and out just fine. And for those of you wondering, yes, my batteries are exposed. I should not be driving around with those like that, but I'm building a box around them. They will be protected and secured before I hit the road. Well, I managed to empty out that other tall blue bin there into two half the size smaller bins that I could stack. Just makes everything way more accessible. It's just one layer of stuff, so everything's right there in front of me, and I've got a little bit of room to spare because I do have some tools still outside of the van stored. Well, I think that's going to work out a lot better. Got those organized there. I don't know what I was thinking. I bought an extra one, so I do have my receipt. I'm going to have to return that. I need to go back to Lowe's anyway. That's where I got those. And then these other two here, I have got another run I'm going to make to a thrift store, so I'll be donating those. I've got the lid for that one somewhere stashed. So that's what's going to happen with those. Well, it's time to get some food going. So to keep my food costs low, I've been eating a lot of dry beans. These are just dried pinot beans. They're very inexpensive and good for you, and they can be very delicious if you cook them right. So I usually soak my beans overnight, but a lot of times I'll want to eat and have not soaked beans the night before. So I do a quick soak. Usually takes about an hour or two. I just heat up some water, not to boiling, just so it's warm or close to hot. Dump the beans in there and just let them sit for a couple hours, and that kind of helps pre-soften them and reduces the cooking time a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get my other ingredients ready and get those going. This is a little mini pressure cooker, so we'll show you how that works. So I started with about a half a cup of dry beans, and after soaking them, you can see they've expanded to over a cup and a half, and they're going to even expand more than that as I cook them. So just wanted to show how they can really plump up and be a lot more food than it really appears to be when they're dry. To those pinto beans, I'm going to add some yellow onion, green bell pepper, some garlic, and pork. You could omit the meat if you don't eat meat. I've actually already spiced this. I'm just adding a little bit more because I didn't have the camera running, and I went a little bit light. Oh, and it is pouring outside. Add some cumin, coriander, cayenne pepper, black pepper, a little bit of kosher salt. I added my garlic in there. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my ingredients and get some water in there. You could use a chicken broth or vegetable broth as well. I don't think I'm going to use all of these beans because that would overload this pressure cooker, and you don't want to do that. So that'll probably be 2 servings for me. Get some water in there. Okay, we're getting a little steam coming out of the spout there, so we're going to put the weight on. Now I'm probably going to time it about 15 minutes from now. At the most, probably 20 minutes for these beans, otherwise they'll get too mushy. Okay, 15 minutes later, I've turned the heat off. I'm just going to let that depressurize on its own, leave the weight on top, and then once it's depressurized, I'll remove that weight, slowly open it up, and we'll see how these beans turned out. So here's what they turned out like. I did drain a little bit of the liquid. It was just a little soupy, but flavor is really good. Could add any additional spices if it's not. I usually put a little bit of hot sauce on them when I serve them up. Well, then there's our finished product there, looking real good. I'm probably going to add a little bit of hot sauce. I think the Valentina will be a nice fit for this. Let's give it a little bit of that. This is kind of a thicker sauce. And the final taste test. Oh my goodness. Dang, with that hot sauce. Woo! So good. Okay, I'm working on a project in the back of the van, and unfortunately I found a leak. I had a problem with this before. I put some more weather stripping sealant in the seal, and I thought I had taken care of it, but it is raining extremely hard today. So unfortunately I had my guitar in its soft case sitting down there, so the case got totally soaked. So I just rolled up a towel and put it there until it stops raining and I can tend to that again. I guess I'm going to have to look into it some more. So I got my guitar case over here. The guitar is out of it. I'm going to have to let that dry out. And what I was working on is putting up my bungee net here. You can see I had showed this bungee net in a previous video, and I was able to get it up secured here. I am going to be putting a frame around this back section here and making this a proper shelf. It's just kind of crude right now, but this is where I'm going to keep my guitar. I'm just testing it out. Normally it would be in its case, but it looks like this bungee net is going to work. It's nice and tight. I just have to remove a couple of the hooks to slide it out, and it sits up there nice and snug. Very cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on this rainy day. This is pretty much how I handle things when the weather's such that I'm stuck in the van. There's usually always some little project or cleaning or organizing that I can be working on. I got things like my guitar, my laptop, there's always some sort of video or photo editing that I can be working on. So I'm probably going to hang out and practice a little guitar and then open up the laptop and work on some video editing, and that'll finish up the day for me. And this is just a day use parking area. This park technically closes at 10 p.m. so I need to be out of here. So I'll have to scatter and go find a legal place to park for the night. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I hope you're all doing well out there, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Peace.